had been through so many shitty relationships and abusive relationships, and I was now with a person who supported me, loved me, respected me, makes me come. Welcome to the Love and Comedy Podcast, where two stand-up comedians talk pursuing love while pursuing stand-up comedy, and also, twist, your comedian host happens to be married
there you go.
to each other. I'm one of your comedian hosts, Aurora Singh.
And I'm your other host, Drew Schaefer.
And it's been a day.
It has been a day.
It's been like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, it has been. I thought last week recording at like 6 a.m. was something, but today.
Yeah. Well, we're here, so.
We're doing this. And today, the reason that we are here is to talk about taking the leap.
Taking the leap of faith, taking a leap of universe, whatever.
Believing in yourself.
Whatever it means to you.
Risking it all, whatever that means. We're going to talk about it. When is it time? What does it mean? And we're going to look at love and comedy. So.
Oh my God, why would we do that?
I don't know. It's almost like we're the comedy and love podcast. Is that what we are?
Comedy, maybe the love and comedy podcast?
The love podcast with comedy?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Anyways, let's get started.
Okay, so before we jump into it, get it, jump, take the leap, jump. This is going to be a Hoppy podcast.
Hoppy.
To know us a little bit better, are you a risk taker, Aurora? Are you cautious? How do you view yourself?
I feel like I am a cautious, spontaneous person.
That almost sounds oxymoronic. What do you mean?
I am a moronic person.
Wow. That's a clip you're going to post. Drew calls Aurora moronic.
Yeah.
Cautious and spontaneous. So what does that mean?
I am cautiously spontaneous. So like, I feel like majority of the time I'm very cautious. Like I don't like to spend a lot of money. Like as far as like, let's talk about dating, right? In dating, I was always very cautious with my heart, but very spontaneous with my vagina.
Wow. Okay, this is news to me, and I am dealing with it on the podcast.
I mean, come on.
I know.
You know, I went to an all-girl Catholic high school, and then I went to college with boys.
Yeah, so...
I mean, I saved a horse and ride a cowboy. You know what I mean? So, I was very cautious of my heart. Very cautious of my heart.
Okay.
Right? And then when it comes to, like, life decisions... To be very honest with you, I feel like I've always been cautious. Like I've always wanted to get a lot of information before making a decision. But I think what happens is like most of the time I'm very cautious as far as like how I spend my money, who I spend my time with, what am I doing? But I'm also very spontaneous and I allow myself that spontaneity because I'm so cautious other ways.
Okay.
So like, for example, this weekend I went to see Lizzo.
Yeah.
Which was incredible, but also dramatic. And, God. But.
So dramatic.
But I was cautious and I bought tickets just so that I can get tickets.
Yeah.
But I was spontaneous because last second I found pit tickets and I was like, well, you know, I don't spend a lot of money on things like this often, so I can be a little spontaneous and buy these tickets. Plus they were affordable.
Yeah.
So I did it. So it's things like that where it's like I'm cautious most of the time, and because of that I'm allowed to be a little bit more spontaneous.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like if you were driving in traffic, like you look for the opportunity. So you'd be hanging back, but if you see just a lane wide open, you're like, well, I'm going to go into this one and take advantage of this opportunity.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Okay.
Yeah. What about you?
I am a classic overthinker. Like in every sense of the word, so cautious, so scared. Like I can tell you every single thing that will go wrong. And the likelihood of it happening, like I'm out here doing calculations on it.
But when you figure out what's going to go wrong, do you do something about it? Or are you just like, no? Because like I also think about all the things that can go wrong. And I try to just prepare myself or avoid those.
I think for me, yeah, if there's a way to avoid it or like make the decision in a way that's cautious and considers that, I try to do it. But I think I get a little paralyzed by the idea, like, I was the kid, when you'd go to a water park and you'd get to the top of the steps and you'd look at the slide and you're like, oh no, I can't go down the slide. What if I fall off? What if this happens? What if this happens? And you freak out. Like, I was that kid, like, the whole time. And then sometimes I would just walk down and be like, I don't want to go down it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm the opposite. It took me a while to get up there. And then once I get up there, I'm like, well,
let's do it.
I'm here, so I'm going to do it. I'm just going to hold my breath, close my eyes, and just take the leap.
Yeah, and I'm like, no, I can't be that person. So, like, in life, too, it's like when I see, even when it's the opportunity and it pops up, like, really quick, there's so much of me that's like, I don't know what to do. But it's like, there's also, like, the thought I'm trying to put in my head is there's no wrong decisions. Like, obviously, there are some wrong decisions.
Yeah, I mean, there's some, like, legally...
Extreme, legally, like, your life is over or basically over type situations. But for the most part, like, we as humans adapt to whatever happens. So if you choose to move to Sacramento instead of San Francisco, it's like, you're going to find the ways to make your situation work for you. Like, that's what humans are. We're so resilient. So to me, I'm like, even if I mess up, I'm going to find a way to make it work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, that's my new philosophy.
That's why you should just take the leap.
And that's where I'm trying to go.
You're ready.
That's what I'm trying to do now. And it's such a it's one of those, like, positive self-talks that I'm starting to work on.
And just because you take the leap doesn't mean that it's not scary.
Oh, yeah.
Like, if we're talking about, like, the water slide thing, which is, like, such a good, what's it, metaphor?
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was like, is it
metaphor? I'm talking metaphors.
Is it metaphor? Analogy? I don't know. But I think that's a good metaphor, because for you would freak yourself out and walk down.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if you would do so much now. Maybe a kid.
Not as much. As a kid, yeah.
But maybe if I was there holding your hand, you'd take the leap.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
I think having support, that's
that's
such a, like, wow, good.
Yeah, because not just me, just, like, support, right? Someone, like, saying, like, hey, you're going to be okay.
Or we're both going to die doing this. Like, you're like, at least I'm not going to be the one person.
Right.
Like,
and it's not scary, but you know what I've been teaching myself too, and going to therapy, and I've learned is, like, nothing is presented to you without you being ready. And, like, so many things, especially in comedy, which we'll get into, I have been presented the opportunity, so have you, and I know that we both have been like, wait, can I do this? Is this, like, am I imposter syndrome? Like, I don't know if I can do this. Is it too soon? Blah, blah, blah. All these things you reel and you overthink and you're afraid to take that leap. But then at a certain point, you just have to hold your breath, close your eyes, hope that someone's holding your hand, and go, you know what? You're up here because you climbed the steps to get up here. You're capable of doing this. It's time. It's your turn. Like, if you're walking up the stairs to a water slide, no matter how high the water slide is, you took every step on your own. You moved your body up those stairs.
I am getting so motivated just listening to you. Like, this is a clip where, like, if somebody didn't know what our podcast was, they'd be like, man, is this Tony Robbins?
Right,
like, I can walk on the hot coals.
Right. So it's like you walked up there and now it's your turn to go.
Yeah.
There is a lifeguard that's standing there and goes, hey, you. They point at you. They do their little finger thing that goes here, and they count you down. They go, okay. They look down. They get radioed. Okay, it's all clear down here. That is time for you to go. They checked your height
somewhere along the way. Like, you must be this tall to ride.
Yes,
like,
and some people got little wristbands where they can skip the line, still climbed every step on their own.
Yeah.
Even if there was less people in front of them and less people behind them, just because they got up there.
Once you get there.
Even when you get there, you can't be like, oh, well, I skipped the line. Am I actually ready to go? No, bitch, it's your turn. The lifeguard said it's clear. You paid for that ticket to skip the line. It's your turn. Go down the slide.
Some deep talk on the Love and Comedy podcast.
You brought in the water slide thing.
I just rolled with it. This is going to be a good episode.
I mean, that made me motivating because I was like, damn, that is a good one.
Yeah. You heard Drew's a little pussy and he can't go down water slides, but I can.
No, I think, yes, Drew's a pussy.
That's.
Is that what you want me to say? Is that what you wanted? Are you not entertained? So for the love section, we obviously took a leap of faith to get married.
Yes, we did.
Yes, and for our marriage, it was an agreement between two people. We both had to agree to take this leap.
Yes, we did. We both had to weigh the options and go, yeah, this is the best option.
Weigh the options? I don't know if I, like, weighed the options, but I definitely made...
When we talk about taking the leap, it's like you could leave or you can say yes.
Yeah, I wasn't, like, out still dating.
I literally gave you a yes or no question. You could have said no. That's literally... Not that it's a 50-50, but it feels like it. You know?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. It kind of is. It is 50. It's two people, 50-50. You can leave or you can stay. It's 25-25, 25-25.
You're doing some funky math over
70,
here.
30,
Yep.
54,
Yeah.
46.
Math isn't your strong suit. This is
So we both had to agree to get married.
We did.
So I think the biggest question is, what made you decide to take that leap of faith, besides me yelling at you about getting married?
Yeah, obviously, I feel like every engagement has a little bit of like, when are you going to do it?
Yeah.
But I think for me, it was like, once I realized, like, damn, this is my teammate. This is the person who will hold my hand and go down the water slide with me. Like,
That should have been in our vows.
should have been. I don't remember what I made like a teammate reference. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like something basketball related, maybe. I don't know. But like, once you realize like you found somebody who you know they're going to be on the court with you, you can throw them the ball and they're going to make the layup. Like, that's how I felt about you. And I was like, feel about you currently,
Whoa.
have and will and continue to feel about you.
Melody.
It was just like, okay, this is the time. Like, obviously, when you're first dating, there's a lot of like disagreements and like growing together and like making compromises. And once we had hit enough of those, it was like, okay, why would we stop?
Yeah.
Like, we've learned, we've dealt with the big ones, we've made it through, and we're both stronger for it.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like,
That's what it was for you.
that was like,
the
at
teammate
that
part.
point, I was like, yeah, she's the one. I'd be stupid not to choose this teammate for my team for the rest of my life.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
I mean, it was pretty similar.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
And you didn't have to propose. So do you feel like there was like a difference there for you?
I mean,
You just had to say yes, but for you, was there? Yeah.
I just had to say yes, but then, I mean, it's still the rest of my life, so I had a lot to consider. I looked at you and I thought, you know, every single thing that we've encountered, we seem to overcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I had been through so many shitty relationships and abusive relationships, and I was now with a person who supported me, loved me, respected me, makes me come.
That was for the video.
Yeah, Drew just like winked at the video, thumbs up to the camera, and so I was like, well, if I have someone who's literally doing all of these things for me and is willing to like go on adventures with me, is patient with me, is understanding, and maybe doesn't understand but it just accepts me, I was like, God, I don't know if I'm like ever willing to let that go, because I've seen what else is out there.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Oh.
It's not good.
I'm glad that, all the
Yeah.
other guys suck.
Well, I'm glad too, because I'm the kind of person in life that just constantly takes these stupid leaps. And I like to learn things the hard way. Hi, my name is Aurora Singh, and I like learning hard lessons, you know?
And luckily, that hasn't happened
luckily-
so far with us.
Right, and luckily, what do you mean, what part?
The learning the hard way.
Yes. I was like, what part?
Yeah.
Are you like really mean? And I don't know
I'm
yet.
so mean.
I remember for the first like 2 years of our relationship, I was like, I'm just still waiting for the other shoe.
Yeah.
I was like, something's going to come up, something's happening. And everything that did come up that like could have been an issue was always handled. And so I think that's why I was like, I kind of have seen what's on the other side of the fence, and it's not great.
Yeah.
And not that I settled, but I kind of just accepted that I'm allowed to be loved.
That's huge.
And so that made it really easy for me to decide to take the leap and say yes.
Yeah.
When you got down on no knees.
Yeah, I didn't get down. But I did it in a cute way.
Sure.
Wow.
No. It was cute.
Have we talked about it on the podcast how I proposed?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so
Oh my God.
long story short,
I was being a bitch
all day.
all day.
All day. Like, nothing was going right. The Airbnb we were checking into in LA, we went down to LA. It wasn't ready.
I low-key knew something was going on, but like didn't at the same time, because my best friend Katie, who was like helping Drew orchestrate
Podcast
this.
official Katie.
Yeah.
She said it out loud. Everybody else can suck it.
No, I mean, I always say that Katie was a maid of honor. Like,
she
she's
was.
my ride or die.
That's, yeah.
And if you're one of my close friends, if you're one of my best friends, you know who you are. You know, I don't need to go down the list. But Katie was helping orchestrate the proposal, and I could low key tell something was up, because the whole week leading up to it, she kept texting me, "Aren't you so excited to come down? I'm so excited to see you." And I was like, Katie, you don't ever do this.
Yeah.
Like, you are showing a lot of emotions on your sleeve and we're not ready for this. This is not like normal times.
Yeah.
So anyways, that kind of threw me off. But okay, so then we get to LA and everything goes wrong.
Yeah, everything's going wrong. Airbnb we have to check into late because she's still cleaning it. You're freaking out because it's hot and you're uncomfortable. And I was like, we have to get to dinner. We have to get to dinner. And you're like, I don't like this. You're not letting me do what I want to do today.
All I wanted was to take a nap.
Yeah, you just wanted to take a nap. I was like, we do not have time. And then, just texting Katie like, hey, this is like, I need your help to get her to not nap.
So Katie comes over because she took a 40-minute Uber ride to come over to me because she was like, knew I was panicking. They forced me to go to the Comedy Store and like take pictures in front of names that we knew.
Yep.
And lo and behold, it was all video to just record Drew awkwardly asking me to spend the rest of our lives together.
Awkwardly? I was so cute. So the Comedy Store in LA has names of comedians written on the wall once you're a past comedian. And I looked at Aurora, I said, hey, one day your name's going to be on this wall. And when it is, I would love if it said Aurora Schaefer.
And I was like, but I'm keeping my original stage name.
That's what ruined it. Yeah, at the time I thought she would change her name.
No, I said yes.
First off.
Yeah, the immediate reaction.
Can you imagine if you just corrected me before you said yes or no? I'd be like, no, I changed my mind.
No, Drew and I
no.
Because Katie said hit a different pose, and so I knelt down. I not knelt down, but like I squatted down, so we both were squatting down when you asked me.
Yeah.
So that's why Drew didn't get down on one knee.
I didn't want to get down on one knee because it was also gross there. Yeah, it's LA, sidewalk.
Yeah. But Drew asked me that, and of course my first answer was yes. I did the hand to mouth. Oh my God. Like classic girl thing. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, right here, right now. I think I said right here, right now. And I was like, yes. Mm-hmm. And then I think after like a few minutes of being in shock, of being engaged, I was like, but I do want you to know that I'm going to say Aurora Singh for stage.
Yeah. And I was like, damn, she was ruining this cute moment.
But I didn't ruin the moment.
No.
No, I didn't.
No.
But I made it very clear afterwards that it was remaining.
You're like, I will marry you, but I don't want people to know we're married unless it's not related to comedy.
No.
I don't want people to be like, you're married to that guy?
Yes, and yeah, Drew, you're a pussy, and I don't want anyone to know we're married. Is that what you want from me? Are you not entertained?
We're playing improv, yes, and I like that you said out loud. You're supposed to just like go with it. Yes, and.
God damn. Can I just be a good guy?
You are a good guy.
I've worked so hard in comedy as Aurora Singh. I didn't want to change it.
Yeah, and it makes sense.
And but legally, I am a Schaefer.
Yeah.
We're the Schaefer space.
We are. Remember that failed project?
Oh God!
One day.
I don't remember if we ever said that was the name of the podcast that we never put out, but it was.
Oh no, we said it a few times.
Oh God!
We're like, welcome to the Shafe Space.
Well, now we have a neon sign that says the Shafe Space that hangs in our living room.
Badass! It's pretty cool.
Oh man, memories. But anyways, I think that's good. Like that's why. I'm so happy I said yes. What about you? Are you so happy you asked?
Did you all hear the desperation in her voice come out? She's like, how about you? Are you glad you said yes?
Are you happy that you asked me? Oh God.
I was about to say, even the recording device was like, desperate. That's what we're recording right now. Obviously. I don't know why I said it that way. I got too excited. Obviously, I'm happy and it's gone well, and we're doing a podcast together. Which could you imagine if I was doing a podcast alone
of our marriage? We're doing a podcast.
I'm doing a podcast. This is the best part of our relationship. It's the most we talk. Honestly, we just sit there and stare at each other.
It does force us to communicate.
Yeah. Okay, so that was love. We got all cutesy and people went, oh, and they went, ha, ha, ha.
And some went,
yeah, gross. And some people are like, I shouldn't be listening to this in the car because I hate this. I don't know.
People need therapy.
They do. They're like, they don't know what a healthy relationship looks like. So speaking of healthy relationships, let's talk about unhealthy things that we've done. Comedy. Because, both of us are college grads. Both of us are, I would say, pretty intelligent, hardworking people, but at some point we had to go, and the traditional life isn't for me. I need to pursue comedy. So, when did you know it was time to take the leap, and like what were the stages for you?
So let's be specific. Yes.
Yeah,
So like leap, we're going to talk specifically about quitting our jobs.
Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quitting a job to pursue comedy.
Yeah, because there's certain points when you realize you need to take a leap and like do X, Y, Z in comedy, move, quit your job, whatever, right?
Yep.
We didn't do all at the same time. We didn't quit our job and move at the same time.
No.
We also didn't like try and get onto big shows at the same time. Like there's different leaps of faith you take in comedy.
Yeah.
I knew I needed to quit my job. Honestly, well, I'm just going to say it. I'm being very honest on this episode.
Good.
Very open, I feel
Good.
like. I said the word vagina earlier.
I know.
That was wild. And cum.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I quit my job. I was selling cars in Toyota. I was selling cars in Reno at Toyota. And Dolan Toyota, who is a huge family-owned, like they own a bunch of car companies in Reno. If you live there, you know who the Dolans are.
Yep.
And I was selling cars, and I was working like, I think before I quit, I worked like 12 days straight, 14 hours minimum each day.
Yeah.
I think the longest day I did was like 16 to 17 hours just out there pounding pavement in the summertime. There was a guy that I worked with named, oh shit, Aaron. No, was it Aaron? No. It was a first name with his last name was a color. It was either brown or green. That's so bad that I don't remember his name.
Wasn't it Aaron Green?
I can't remember if Aaron Green was a white guy and then there was a black guy. Anyways, there was this guy I worked with, and he's a basketball player.
Okay.
And so both of us would like get in a car and we would drive around the lot and just like, you know how people would go poop on company time and they like would like just not work.
Yeah.
We would get into one of the company cars and just like drive around the lot and poop in it.
Poop in it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
What a great metaphor. Poop in the car.
And we'd be like talking about life.
Yeah. Okay.
We wouldn't poop in it, but we'd like go up to the roof and we would just look out. It sounds so romantic, but it's not. He honestly is just such a good guy and such a good friend.
Okay.
And
I don't like this precursor at all.
I know you don't, but
that always sounds like something.
And Drew and I were dating at this point in time. So it was definitely a platonic relationship.
Okay.
And we would talk about life. And he was like, I really just want to play basketball overseas. And I was like, God, I really want to do stand up. And we would both talk about it. And then literally it was like a Thursday. We both were like, we're going to quit tomorrow. We both were like, we're fucking quitting tomorrow.
Damn.
Because we were like putting in all this time to sell cars. At this point, my health had taken a decline. I got shingles, you guys.
Yep.
I was like 22 years old and got shingles. What? That's not normal.
No.
That's like very bad.
Yeah.
That's how stressed out.
High stress. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how stressed out I was. This guy knew about it too. And so we were just up there and we're like, it's not that we're not willing to work hard, but we're not willing to work this hard in something that like we just don't have a passion in.
Yeah.
He really was like, I can't make it to this to play overseas if I'm here. Like the guys that are my friends that are doing it are working out 6 to 7 hours a day training in the gym. And I'm like, yeah, I need to be training in my metaphorical comedy gym.
Yeah.
Like this isn't good for either of us. So Friday morning, the GM of Toyota, Brady Dolan, shows everyone in the team meeting Friday. We have team meetings every Friday morning. An inspirational video about following your passions.
Oh no! Don't you love when bosses are like, "Hey, follow your dreams"?
Yeah, I think his name was Aaron. But sorry, what were you gonna say?
Like when bosses show motivational, like follow your dreams. You're like, what? That would be like if you showed me a video of a super attractive woman. You're like, don't you think she's attractive? I'm like, I'm gonna leave you. Why would be like she's available and she thinks you're cute? Like, why would you say that?
It was very ironic. And I remember he was sitting like diagonal in front of me, and he looked back at me, and him and I were both crying because we were just like, God damn it, this is not what we want to do.
Yeah.
So after the meeting, we both quit. And like we literally walk and we're like, so we're out. Peace. Bye. Like we just like left. It wasn't like that. I definitely bawled my eyes out to Brady. Yeah. I was like, Brady, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm quitting.
Who doesn't cry when they quit? Like,
I mean, especially in car sales, you don't put in a 2 weeks. You quit on the spot. Yep. You grab your things and you get in your car and you drive home.
Yeah.
It is not like I'm going to put in my 2 weeks. It's hey, I'm actually just going to head out.
Yeah.
Like I'll come pick up my final check when it's done.
Ooh.
Like literally it's like that. And I was crying and bawling.
Yeah.
Right?
When I was a teacher, by the way, I quit 3 months before the end of the school year because they were offering like a quit bonus if they had time to find your replacement. So it was like an awkward cry to the principal, and then everybody found out. So for 3 months, everybody was like, please don't go. Like, we want you to stay. And like the counselor's kid cried, and he was like, please don't leave us. And I was like, oh my God.
Everyone in car sales, when you leave, is like, bye, more money for me.
No.
Yes.
No,
it is like so cutthroat. And so, yeah, I quit.
You quit. Okay.
And and I was like, fuck, I still need to get money. So then I applied to Washoe County School District to be a substitute teacher, and that took like 4 months. I didn't realize. Luckily, I had money saved from car sales. Anyways, he ended up going playing basketball overseas, and now I'm doing this.
Nice.
So that long story was to say I decided to take the leap of faith because I was putting so much time and effort into something I did not have a passion for. It wasn't that I didn't care. It wasn't that I was lazy. It was that I was there every single day putting my health at risk and all of this bullshit to sell cars to people when all I wanted to do was perform. And all he wanted to do was play basketball. And like that was eating away at our soul. And there's a certain point in time where you're just like, you know what? I would rather die trying and get shingles trying to do stand-up comedy than living this lavish lifestyle, making a shit ton of money a month. Yeah. And it just something in me, like it was like a fire that was like, stop, go, leave right now, just quit, like get out of here. Damn. I don't know how else to explain it than it's just like this feeling of like the stars in your eyes and just being like, fucking go, like just your turn, it's your turn, you're there, he's counting you down. They just radioed that like it's like safe to go down the slide. It's your turn, go.
Damn. Okay. That's
that was a lot. I'm so sorry.
No, that's,
you know what, I'm not sorry.
Don't be sorry. There's people listening, they're like, when do I know when to quit my job to go for what I really want to do? Like, if there's something out there that you could be doing, you're going to sacrifice for whatever you do in life. So make it worth the sacrifice.
To be fair, though, another big reason I took the leap of faith was because I had saved up a lot of money. Yeah. So it wasn't like I was, cautious but spontaneous. I had saved up a lot of money to be able to live off of for at least, in Reno at the time, like at least 7 months. Yeah. So it wasn't like I just was like, I gotta go, and I quit and I was just broke on the streets. I was like, I had been cautious, and then the time was like the shingles thing, and then working that 12 days, 14-hour minimum days. Yeah. That was enough for me to be like, you know what? I'm willing to put in the time. Like I that was basically proof to me to be like, okay, so I can work hard. Yeah. But I don't want to do it here. True. And I have money to live off of for 7 months while I secure another stream of income. Yeah. And that's it. Okay, so then you're a teacher. Yeah. I was going to say that's probably the biggest leap for me was, I was a teacher. I was like, I was content with being a teacher, living in Urington, small town with like 1,000 people. Oof, that word, content. Content. That's, like a lot of people, not shaming you, but a lot of people are like, content is good. But for me, it was like, I don't want to wake up feeling this way every day. Like I can't be a 9 to 5. I showed up as a teacher expecting so much out of it, and it was not what I expected. Like, I had fun. I made kids love math, but like I wasn't happy. And it was you were also content in a place that like wasn't, I don't know how else to say it, but like wasn't your vibe. Yeah. Like, does that make sense? Yeah. Like, you had a good income, you had a place to live, but it wasn't like, right? It was missing a lot of pieces. So like I was young and had never really lived life as an adult on my own. So it's like living in a small town with nothing to do. Like, I needed excitement. I needed to be in a city. So it was like, I was still trying to move from Urington to Fernley. I would have been happy with that, I thought. But it's like, no, I needed something bigger. And then you met a girl. Then I met a girl and I was doing comedy, and it was just like, everything was just working together where it was like, oh, comedy's going really well. I was working at a comedy club, house host and manager. So like I was doing so much comedy there, and it just became like this. If I'm going to be tired, I'd rather be tired from doing comedy than tired from being a teacher. And it was, then they were like, hey, if you quit now, we'll give you like $2,000 so we can fill your position. I was like, that's a sign.
So
cautious but spontaneous.
Cautious but spontaneous. It's like, yeah, neither one of us really has like a strong safety net. Like, we wouldn't be, homeless and dead if something happened, but we don't have like rich parents. But it was just something where like, okay, I've saved up a little bit of money. I know I have some skills that I could, go find a job. So I was like, okay, I'm going to quit teaching. I'm going to pursue comedy more, and I'll find a job out in Reno. And I went for it.
Yeah. And we both did that. And I think also, like you're saying, like, no, we don't come from like super wealthy backgrounds, right? Like I was raised by a single mom who's an immigrant.
Yeah.
And, it's not like we have these like huge financial safety nets, but we worked really hard for our money. And also, like you said, we wouldn't be homeless and dead because we also do have a community of people in our corner. Yeah. So it's like, we would have people holding our hand being like, if anything did go really south,
I have a couch. I have a spare bedroom, whatever.
Yeah, like we have people
temporarily stay there.
Yeah, we have people that would, I mean, I'm slowly learning no one's going to protect you and your money but yourself.
Yeah.
I'm still learning not to be so...
You're learning the hard way.
That's me. Hi, I'm Aurora Singh, and I love to learn things the hard way.
Boom. Dun, 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 dun.
Just like a reading rainbow.
Yeah.
And the more you know.
I was starting to think Real Housewives.
Yeah.
I like to learn things the hard way.
I'm just like holding a puppy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I think that's like, we do have a few people in our lives who, if anything went south, they would take care of us.
So it's like taking a leap, but knowing you're not going to die. Like there's water at the bottom of whatever you're jumping over. Like there's a lifeguard, whatever. So, but it was just something where it was like, yeah, need to quit this job because it's not what I'm passionate about. And I'm not going to put my full self into it versus comedy where it's like, I will sacrifice everything for this.
We say that, but then we also don't because we're still cautious.
We're still super cautious.
We do sacrifice a lot for this.
We do.
But we do it with cautious moves.
Yeah. There was like the World Series of Comedy. There was a satellite that I thought I had only signed up for a couple, but I got into one of them and I was like, okay, like I know I shouldn't go because it's expensive. I was like, okay, if I can find a flight for under this amount of money, maybe I'll just make it work. Like, let's just go for it. And then I didn't luckily find a flight cheap enough. And I was like, okay, good. I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
It was just one of those where I was like, yeah, that would have been a sacrifice. But to me, it was like, yeah, we're so good at weighing, like, okay, what's the value of it? What's the return? And we're starting to treat it like a business now.
Yeah.
Where it's like, yeah, you have to take leaps
Well,
sometimes.
at a certain point, you can't, in the beginning, you can't.
No.
You just have to lose a ton of money.
You have to. You have to drive really far. I was talking to some young comics yesterday, and they were like, oh, yeah, like, I'm going to drive down to San Diego and do an open mic. I'm like, why would you drive 10 hours to do an open mic? That doesn't make sense. Like, obviously, yeah, you're going to take some losses, but do a showcase, do a comedy club. Like if you're driving that far, you can't do it just to do an open mic.
Yeah, and I know this isn't the topic of our episode, but I'm just going to say this. This is a good tip for anyone who's interested in doing stand-up, and good insight for those who are just fans. Yeah. If you are going to go to San Diego and drive 10 hours to go do an open mic, that's dumb. What you should be doing instead is emailing. If you're willing to just drive down there on a whim, find a bunch of comedy clubs and local shows.
Yep.
And find the Facebook group. Bunch of local shows. Hit them up in the group. Email these comedy club bookers. Even if you don't have an EPK, an electronic press kit, just email these club bookers and go, hey, I would love if I'm going to be in town this weekend. I would love to do a guest spot and showcase for you.
Yep.
That's the way to do it. That makes your stupid little 10-hour trip, 20-hour round trip, a little bit more worth it. Because out of like 6, 7, maybe 10 people you email and reach out to, maybe one will get back to you, and then that could be a club, and then that's one person that can vouch for you for someone else. Please don't drive 10 hours to go do an open mic. Even in the beginning, know your worth a little bit. At least your time.
Yeah.
You know?
Like value yourself.
Value your time. If you're going to just drive down there for BS, like, I don't know.
Yeah, and understand what you're gaining from it. So, like, if you drive 10 hours, but you get to meet a booker of a comedy club that you're probably going to work with, maybe that's a sacrifice that's worth it.
Yeah.
Versus, are you going to go 10 hours for an open mic at a dive bar with 2 people there and the comedians don't know anybody that can connect you to anybody? It's like, okay, you got to weigh the option. So be cautious.
Yeah.
But take some leaps. Take some risks.
Take some leaps,
Take
guys.
some losses.
You know, it's kind of fun. Once you decide to just slide down that water slide and you're just having the time. You're like, I put my hands up in the air for those reels. I was like, my eyes are crossed. I'm having so much fun. Look at me go. Yeah. And then you get to the bottom. You're like, I want to do that again. I want to go on the higher slide.
Yeah.
So take some leaps, trust yourself and trust your choices. And like, honestly, if you're making these decisions with the intention of, I want to get better and I'm willing to learn if this is a mistake, it's going to be a good decision.
Yeah.
God, there's a lot of wisdom in this.
Man, this episode.
I did good. And I was open and I said some bad words.
You did it all. We got the checklist
I
for an episode.
told you guys about a medical illness that I had.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the episode.
That's it. Taking a leap. I hope you didn't skip this episode.
Wait, why? Because
leap. Skip. Because it's
words.
Synonyms. There you go.
Metaphors.
Yeah.
Analogies.
Yeah.
Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening.
Yeah. Hop over to our social medias.
Okay, keep the puns coming.
Yeah. Okay, keep going. I'll come up with more over here.
I do want to say we haven't played Pocketed Punchline. We didn't play Pocketed Punchlines on last episode or this episode. We have been kind of cramming these episodes in because things have been going really great. As you guys know, last week we recorded and said all the things that have been going on. So we've been busy and I'm so sorry. But thank you so much for listening. I hope that you guys got something out of this Leap of Faith episode. We release episodes every single Thursday. Please like, share, subscribe, follow, comment, rate, anything you can do to interact, share, mainly share. We need more people listeners.
Yeah.
Dog listeners. I don't know why I said people listeners.
Yeah.
Tree listeners.
Just play it in waiting rooms. Like hack into the Bluetooth speaker at your local doctor's office and play our podcast.
Just do whatever. And but thank you. I've been Aurora Singh.
I've been Drew Schaefer.
Follow me at Aurora Singh Comedy. And also my website, aurorasingcomedy.com, where you can find all of my upcoming shows and other things that's going on.
Yeah. And I'm Drew Schaefer. Follow me at Drew Schaefer Comedy. And thank you so much for listening, watching, being part of this, and taking a leap with us to listen to this podcast.
Oh, also follow us at The Love and Comedy Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. The Love and Comedy Podcast.
Yeah, I don't have any more puns. I was trying to sneak some in.
Okay, and we also want to let them know about season 1.
Oh, season 1, yeah. So we only have a few episodes left in season 1 of our podcast. We're going to take a little hiatus and come up with some new ideas and new questions. So please keep sending your questions so we know what to talk about that you guys want to hear about.
Yeah, and in that time we're gonna be recording, we're gonna be revamping some stuff, adding some stuff. So definitely don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We just want to give you guys a little heads up that nothing bad is happening.
No.
It's actually all very good things. We just want to like reorganize, and we're gonna put some time into making the podcast even better than it already is. What? I mean, how could we get better?
After these last 2 episodes? Yeah, we're gonna have to record with like somebody literally like your job. You're gonna lose your job if you don't finish this episode in time.
I'm gonna get shingles. I'm gonna work so hard at this.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I'm going to learn to sell Toyotas just because that puts pressure on you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's it. Did you tell them your social?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Love you. Bye.
Bye.